We're going to talk about marijuana today. Specifically, we're going to talk about weed, butane honey oil, edibles, and vaping liquid. The active ingredient in marijuana that causes impairment is tetrahydrocannabinol, or it's also known as delta-9 THC. Marijuana is the most widely available and commonly used illicit drug in the United States. Right now, legalization and medical marijuana fuel the popularity of this drug, along with some rap groups and other performing artists. Today's marijuana is very potent compared to the 1970s version. The 1995 THC potency was approximately 4% THC, but the 2016 version is approximately 11 to 12% THC. The issue with that is stronger strains and hybrids are driving up THC content. We also know that marijuana is typically smoked, but it can be eaten, and we also know that it can be used in vaping devices as well. Here's a picture of live plant material or live marijuana plants. And here's a picture of dried plant material, usually dried after a period of time and then smoked. Here's a picture of a bud of marijuana. And marijuana is typically smoked, so with that the methods for use would be pipes, bongs, and rolling papers and blunts. A blunt is a cigar where the middle of the cigar is removed and marijuana is put in the middle and smoked. With marijuana are other items. An indicator item is a grinder. People would grind the marijuana up so that it can be smoked. Another indicator item is tobacco shake. So when a person removes the middle of the cigar, they keep that left over behind, and it's called tobacco shake. Another indicator item are blunt wrappers. So if you see cigar wrappers laying around and loose tobacco, that could be an indicator of marijuana use. Butane honey oil is produced by placing marijuana in a tube and shooting butane into that tube, and it causes a chemical extraction of the THC. Typically, they'll put all of the marijuana, the seeds, the buds, the stems, grind it up and put it in this tube. It can produce 80% plus levels of THC. It's called honey, wax, dab, 710, and there are probably another 100 names for this as well. The issue with manufacturing butane honey oil is production can also cause severe fire and explosions. There are videos out on YouTube right now that will show a house's walls actually being blown off from the manufacture of butane honey oil inside of a house. And smoking butane honey oil, since it's so pure, can cause hallucinations. Here's a picture of a person manufacturing butane honey oil. Here's the finished product of butane honey oil, and you can see each version looks just a little different. There's also more liquid forms. Another picture of THC wax. And there's also marijuana edibles. Marijuana edibles can come in any shape, form, or flavor. They can be as cookies, candy, liquids, and many other forms. Typically, these edibles have a higher THC content. When a person ingests edibles by eating them, it takes time for the drug to take effect. So this might cause a person to not feel anything and eat more of the drug. Now, the issue with that is if they eat too much of it, they can overdose, which typically causes racing heart and high anxiety. Here's a picture of marijuana edibles in cookies and brownies. And here's another marijuana edible that's a cookie that was manufactured. And we've even seen marijuana edibles with in honey, so actual honey infused with marijuana. This picture shows the top of the lid of the honey as medicated marijuana. So if you didn't know that and you ate that honey, you would definitely feel the effects of that. Here are more marijuana edibles, both hard candy, cookies, and others. One of the issues with THC edibles is Hard candy or other candy is very appealing to children, and if a child were to find this and eat it, they would have very adverse effects. Actually, they could probably overdose and have to be hospitalized. So this is a huge issue with THC edibles. We also know that gummy bears are also one of the THC edibles, and kids typically love gummy bears. So there's something new called THC vaping. It's a new trend, and it has the introduction of THC vaping ampules. THC vaping ampules can be used in a regular vaping device. Typically, the THC contents in these devices are typically very high, and they're very easy to conceal. Here's a picture of a vaping ampule that was seized recently in a drug raid. Here's another picture of other vaping devices for THC vaping. Now, there are other crimes that can be associated with marijuana and marijuana dealing. There's huge money in marijuana sales. There have been many shootings in relation to robberies and attempted robberies during marijuana transactions. I can tell you from personal experience, many times shootings that end in death will find large amounts of marijuana at the scene, and these are known as drug rips. Again, many of these drug rips end in death. Typically, the dealer will be carrying a gun, the person coming to rob the dealer will have a gun, and a shootout will ensue and leave lots of people injured and or dead. Another issue with marijuana is we know that marijuana is a gateway drug. With marijuana being a gateway drug, this can lead to other drug use. Marijuana can lower a person's inhibitions and make them more susceptible to trying other things that could lead to addiction and or death. For more information on this, please go to lookupindiana.org.